Hey, welcome in. It's a Clippers Talk Live. I'm Adam Osland. It's good to be with you. Or is it? As some expected news, at least from my side just came out. Big news size, but expected. And it's this. Shams Charania, now of ESPN. Young Masuk of ESPN, who's been on the show here on Clippers Talk, are reporting that star Kawhi Leonard is expected to miss indefinite time to start the 2024-2025 NBA season as he and the team rehab his right knee for sustainability on the court. Anything shocking about this? Did you guys think he was playing next Wednesday? Did you think he was playing the first couple of weeks? I don't know how I could have prepared you any better for this. I just did a deep dive on Kawhi, I don't know, probably less than a week ago, talking about everything we've heard, all the quotes we had from March 31st on throughout this right knee swelling going on. I don't know how I could have prepared you more for this. Alex Webb said, not sure this is breaking news. We've known this for the most part. I understand this sentiment. Old Man Yen says not surprised, but still bummed. Now that it's more official, I understand that completely. He said, why are people surprised? He didn't do any basketball contact. He hadn't been practicing with the team. I have been telling you that in order to get back out on the court, it would have been big if he could have played in a preseason game because that means he would have already practiced, done some contact drills, the proper ramp up and build up to playing. I had played you audio from Kawhi talking about that very thing in Honolulu. I just did a show on this. Check the live section. I just did it. I don't know how many shows it was ago now because I'm doing so many, but I tried. I did my best to prepare you. I don't know what else I could have done. Deca Fantastic said, what I love is Clippers Talk is becoming something I can always depend on. When something happens, Adam is always ready. That was the goal. That was my aim here. I appreciate you, Deca Fantastic. Jordan said, this was pretty known. Even Ty Lue went out with the starting lineup not too long ago. I mean, Brad Turner just asked him Monday night after the game, do you have a starting lineup without Kawhi Leonard? I said, yeah, the one I went with tonight. We've known. Hunter Han said, Kawhi Leonard always doing this after getting the bag. Hope he gets well, plays well, and then we trade and get assets back. Yeah, this is totally intentional on his part. He's not a Hall of Fame player. He doesn't love basketball. He doesn't have a passion for the game. He didn't try to play on one leg in Game 3 last season against the Dallas Mavericks and hang on the rim because he was scared to fall to the floor after an alley-oop dunk. Shut up, man. Deca Fantastic said, week to week is indefinitely. No setbacks is the key fact. I'll read you more from the article, which really makes this seem like non-news. It starts like this. LA Clippers star Kawhi Leonard will be sidelined indefinitely to begin the NBA season as he rehabilitates from inflammation in his right knee, sources told ESPN on Thursday. The Clippers and Kawhi are in the midst of a rehab process for the two-time NBA Finals MVP that is aimed to bring sustainability for him on the court through the season, and the franchise will be diligent and cautious to ensure his fitness long-term. I'll read that again. The Clippers and Kawhi Leonard are in the midst of a rehab process for the two-time NBA Finals MVP that is aimed to bring sustainability for him on the court through the season, and the franchise will be diligent and cautious to ensure his fitness long-term. I have been telling you for some time now that I believe they're being overly cautious. Rightfully so, considering everything that has happened. It is the correct move. They don't want a setback like they had in 2022 when he first came back from the ACL, where he played a couple of games coming off the bench, and then there was stiffness in the knee in a game in OKC, and then we didn't see him for about 3 weeks or a month. Don't want that. JMI 1324 said indefinite can mean a lot of things, which is the sad part. It could. Because why? Because of what I've been telling you. No one knows how his knee is going to respond. He has to go through the rehabilitation process, strengthen the knee, then see, okay, as I'm doing these exercises, is it being inflamed? Is it swelling back up? No? Check mark. Move on to the next thing. Then eventually get to the point where he can get back onto the court. But that still includes practicing 5-on-5 and then see how he responds with his knee the next day after that. I told you back in the playoff series. Yeah, I expect him to try to play on it. It's how he responds to that. And he didn't respond well after game 2. He looked much better in game 2 than he did game 3. The knee swelled back up. I have told you my concern all along is that the only reason the swelling has gone down is because he hasn't played high-level basketball. What happens when he gets back to playing 5-on-5, NBA-level basketball? Does the swelling go back up? We don't know. I don't know how I could have laid this out any more cleanly for you guys to understand. Alex Webb said, Shams said they have a handle on it and have a better sense of how to manage the swelling. Hopefully it works out for Kawhi this time around. He's quoting stuff from Media Day, that part of it. That's not new information. Like, most of this article, and it's pretty damn short, is pulling stuff from what Lawrence Frank has said already. Leonard and the Clippers have gone through a variety of medical treatments to control the inflammation since the end of last season. We know Lawrence Frank, president of basketball operations, said at the start of training camp that the inflammation had gone down significantly since last postseason. Yes, but that the team wanted to get the franchise's star knee to 100% and would take every precaution. This is not new information. When asked if he could have to deal with inflammation coming up for the rest of his career, that was asked at Media Day by Om Youngwasuk to Kawhi Leonard. Leonard said that it is a possibility, but that the medical staff has got a better handle on it and is trying to ensure that isn't the case. So, Alex Webb, that was from Media Day. That's nothing new. We already knew that. Tim A said, not shocked at all. This has to be part of the load management strategy. No back-to-backs and cut at least the first month of the season to save his legs. Conjecture. Mo Hassan said, any true Clippers fans have been aware of this for at least a month. This press release was for the rest of the NBA and casual fans. You're probably right about that. The guy who I almost put in timeout earlier, Huntahan, said, just an emotional, sad fan here. History repeating itself. Hope the rest of the squad kept us afloat or can keep us afloat while we wait for Kawhi to be back. That's fine. I understand. It's frustrating. I get it. I don't know. If you had been listening to me since the end of March when this first went down, I told everybody then, guys, this swelling, him missing that game against Denver, which had playoff consequences at the time. It was a real injury. Everybody kept telling me, no, they're just saving him for the postseason. They want to give him a break right before a long postseason. It's not serious. He's playing game 1. All that stuff was misinformation. I tried to alert you about this. Deuce Time said, I'm not surprised. James Harden, Zoo, Norm, and Sky Jones going to do it. Grant Mona in here said, I don't think any of this is new news to me and Adam. Everyone around the team kind of knew this. I'm reading stuff from the article that we already knew. None of this is new. This is just, I don't know. ESPN wants to take credit for obvious information here. I get it. I guess it's a little bit more official now, but I don't think anyone thought he was playing next week. Jordan said, I think as Clippers fans should be happy we are not throwing him out there in game 1 of 82. We need him later in the year. Hope we get to see him in about 50 to 55 games this year. The West is tough. I'd sign up for that right now. I would sign up for 50 games with Kawhi. That's where I'm at with it. 50 games of high-level play from Kawhi Leonard. I would love that. But again, you have to put yourself in a position to actually be able to make the playoffs, try to stay out of the play-in. And if you don't have him enough, you could be flirting with being on the outside of the play-in. We'll see. A lot of unknowns. AFG Prince 818 said, hate to say it, but a degenerative knee will not get better. It will only gradually get worse. Thanks for the definition of what degenerative means. I think the tenure is done. Heartbreak. XX Sick Angel says, what's the odds he doesn't play this year? No idea. Guys, Kawhi can't know how his knee responds to the treatments yet. So how can any of us know? How can the team know? Nobody knows. It's how his knee responds. Frank J said, why was he even in the Olympic initial roster? That's fair. Did he not know his knee has inflammation? Or did Olympics practice just make it worse? We don't know that. At Media Day, it sounded like he was doing his usual workload build-up, off-season workout stuff before and after the Olympics. But he said just 2 weeks before reporting to the training camp in Vegas, I think it was for Team USA, he initially said that he had a turnaround just 2 weeks before. Then we find out after that Lawrence Frank press conference about a week before Media Day that he had a procedure in May. So I'm guessing he felt good after the procedure, whatever it was. Cleanup, people say. Want to sound smart. Nobody can actually tell me what that means. But I guess he felt like he was healthy enough, and it was a bucket list thing for him. And then he said the knee was in a neutral state while he was practicing and doing some 5-on-5. But when Lawrence Frank said, and I pointed this out a million times here, that the swelling is almost gone, and that was in early October, late September, he said that. And May is 5 months before that when he had the procedure, apparently. I said, oh, that's a little bit concerning. Commits meow. I'll just say meow. Said, should Kawhi just sit the whole season? This is a wash season anyways. Let him sit for an entire year and do whatever he needs to do. I think you're missing something very key here. Very key. Not surprised, meow. The Clippers need to stay in front of the Houston Rockets so that they don't have their pick taken away again by OKC. They have a pick swap with either the Clippers or the Houston Rockets. They are going to take the better positioned pick, the team with the worst record. The Clippers have zero incentive to just give in and get a better pick this season when OKC is going to take it. Whatever the best pick between them and the Houston Rockets is, they're getting. So that makes 0 sense. So maybe a mute coming or maybe a timeout. Deuce Time says, our defense is going to surprise people. Optimism. Finally. Got some. Grant Mona says, see you tonight, Adam. Much to discuss. Have a great show. Thanks, Grant. I think he's coming on the pregame show with me. Clippers countdown starting at 6:30. Deca Fantastic says, until I hear the word setback, it's same old, same old. We haven't heard that yet. Alex Webb saying, Harden got us. We are good for the first half of the season. We'll see, my guy. The West is dark and full of terror. Jesse Beer said, Adam, Law's been hinting at this. It isn't new news. Law keeps saying first week in November. First week in November might be aspirational, my friend. He's out indefinitely. Nobody knows. Law also thought he was coming back in game 1 and then changed his opinion on that. Nobody knows. It's Kawhi. I had been telling people that what the situation is, if he plays high-level basketball, is the swelling just going to go back up? I told you guys this back in April. I don't know. I feel like I've been kind of on top of this one. Deuce Times said James Harden is a proven 1v1 player in the late game, especially in the regular season. Facts. He's also 35. A lot is going to be demanded of him. Asian Domination 15 said, do you think Kawhi cries at night? This is a timeout. I think Kawhi is frustrated. Deuce Time says 100 to Alex Webb. Holo Dolo says, Harden, Zoo, and the boys, it's all up to you. Now it truly sucks that our opening schedule is so tough. It's a good point. The schedule is very difficult early on. Phoenix, coming up less than a week from today at Intuit Dome. JJJ, Triple J, Jaron Jackson Jr. Is this you? When you respond to comments, is it you from YouTube or a different live stream? It's me, Adam A. Jay says, minus 2 J's, he will get fined for load management, but technically can't get fined if he's not playing because he's hurt. But we are really saving him for the middle of the season towards the playoffs. Watch. This level of delusion is problematic. This whole, Clippers are playing the long game and this is a tactic so they don't get fined for load management. Guys, the NBA doctors can clear someone for load management. That's what we saw in the 1920 season, and the Clippers did not get in trouble then. I know the player participation policy has changed a little bit, but I think it's the same thing. I think everyone knows nobody's faking anything. Kawhi's injury prone. The right knee, unfortunately, last 3 seasons, same type of issues flaring up, popping up. Renee Z said, our defense is going to keep us afloat. Hope so. Louis Lemus says, Rockets look solid. Whitmore, a hooper. Thanks. Yeah. I didn't need to hear that name. Cam Whitmore. Luis Lemus, if you know, you know. Give Kawhi more money. Mio said, the pick is gone. We lost the trade. The pick is not gone. You casual. You're out. Timeout. Timeout. I tried to explain it to you. You didn't want to listen. That's a clear-cut timeout. The pick is not gone this season yet. If they stay ahead of the Houston Rockets, OKC will pick swap with them. That's very important. So your little, what does it matter? Give up on this season? No, it matters. You can keep your first-round pick. Timothy said it is 4 to 8 weeks. Who's saying it's 4 to 8 weeks? That's not what indefinite means. That means there's no timeline. Clips or Die says, I'm just excited for Clippers basketball. Thank you. I'm going to be into it on the 23rd. Let's go. And honestly, had no expectations for Kawhi playing when I got the tickets. This is the way. This is going to be a fun team to watch. I like it. I like it. JMI 1324 said, WTF type of question is that? Does a grown man cry at night? Think before you type. You're right. He's still in timeout. C said, indefinitely for the start of the season. We knew this. Yeah, we did. Triple J. No, my comment was if you respond to comments from YouTube or a different live stream, but you answered my question. Big fan. Appreciate you, Triple J. I hope I answered it. Double X Sick Angel said, I think we just got to have fun with this team for the next 3 years. Last year was our last year for competing for a championship until our next era of Clippers basketball. I'm calling it right now the Intuit Dome era. I don't know if this is post 2-1-3, the James Harden era, the James Kawhi era. Until Kawhi plays, that's hard to say. Intuit Dome era. Tim A said, I'm glad we have Harden over PG since he's more able to carry a team. If it were the opposite, I think I'd feel more down. Okay. I see the logic there. He's the engine of the offense. Deuce Time said, they bringing back hand checking and defense will be a value in the NBA. No more carries and traveling. Buckets will be tough this year. Not sure what you read with the rules committee, but none of that is true. Yes, they are letting them play more physical. Hand checking is a judgment call. It's like holding from an offensive line in the NFL. It's how much do you let someone get away with? It still happens all the time. It is the most overused terminology by old heads that say, no, hand checking, it would be totally different now. It's like, actually, hand checking has been illegal since like the late 70s, but it's just how much you let them get away with. And you can go back and watch games where Jordan was getting all kinds of hand checking calls on the opposition. They were calling ticky-tack stuff back then too. Hello Dolo says, in all honesty, this is nothing new. We all knew this was the route they were going with. With this report now, everyone can stop asking the same damn questions about Kawhi every time. I think that's part of the reason they're getting this out now, and maybe it takes some of the sting out because you still have 5 more days or 6 more days till opening night. Jordan said, I think we remain at 500 or just slightly above in all games without Kawhi. I have real faith in our roster, and in a few games Kawhi does play, we will have a winning record. We are making the playoffs. Playoffs or play in, Jordan? Playoffs or play in? That is the question. Cesar Ramirez says, big chance for Terrence Mann to show more. Him and Norm have to step up to keep us afloat. Nothing inaccurate there. Timothy said, Adam, isn't Rockets pick to OKC top 10 protected? Yeah. So the Rockets can't be too bad. I don't think they should be bottom 10. The Rockets, I think, are a playing team. Health permitting. That goes for everyone. Jay says, not a wash season. All this talk and uncertainty about my Clippers has me feeling like the good old days when there was no expectations on us. We will shock many. Hashtag same old underdog. Hashtag new dog house. Hey, dogs in the house. Soggy Cereal says he'll be back after the NBA Cup. Pointless conjecture. You have no information. Hunter Hand says, I got Powell in my fantasy league, so more playing time for him. What's the condition on Kai's contract? How can he make it guaranteed? Thing with Kai Jones is he's eligible for a two-way. They have one more two-way to give away. It's going to go to him by all accounts. They need a backup center right now. Mo Bamba is out, and he's played very well the last 4 games in the preseason. Game 1 was very shaky. After that, as I always say, progress isn't linear, except with Kai Jones. So they'd have to open up a roster spot for him to get a standard contract. Do they trade PJ and someone else, a 2-for-1? So then they have that possibility for Kai, someone else? I don't know. C said, that makes my decision easy. Red Uno jersey it is. When those red jerseys come, it is going to be something. Triple J says, hope I get to see Intuit in person. I became a Clippers fan from Columbus because the Columbus NHL team shares the Clippers name. And as a kid, I confused them. That's funny. I like that. I like fan history like that. Triple J, MHL, NHL, minor league hockey. Jay said, hit the like button and subscribe, boys. Clipper Nation. I second that. Jason Chavez said, when will the pain end for us? I don't know. I'm thinking about Kawhi right now, then the Clippers organization, front office, and then us. But I understand. As fans, this is so frustrating. I completely understand, guys. And if you want to lash out a little bit, I'll take some of it. I didn't like what the guy said earlier. I won't even repeat it. There's some stuff that crosses the line. But because I know Kawhi wants to play and I know how frustrated he is. And it's crazy that they're still dealing with swelling. And I have wondered, before Ohm asked the question, I've told people this behind the scenes. I've been like, is his body just saying no more? When they're swelling like this from playing and doing things he used to be able to do, is his body just saying that's enough? I don't know. I hope not. I hope they're figuring this thing out. But if he had surgery in May and it's almost gone 5 months later, I told you after we heard that from Lawrence Frank, that didn't make me or give me a vote of confidence. I tried to be as honest as possible. I told you back in April what I thought the deal was with swelling and how concerning that is, but y'all didn't want to listen to me. He's playing game 1, Adam. You don't know. Jordan said, I have us anywhere from 5 to 8, so play in advantage seeding where we have 2 chances to get the win. Either way, I'm sure we make it in. We would have the 9 or 10 seed shaking to play us in the play-in. Oh, they'd be shook. Jordan, question. How many games do you have Kawhi playing? Is that what's determining whether they're a 5 seed or an 8th seed? JMI 1324 said that December to end of season schedule gets dark for real. The night is dark and full of terror. I hope he gets back as soon as possible. Don't we all? And that he can stay on the court and it not be an in and out thing. That has always been my concern. C said, where are the real Clippers fans at? Let's go Clippers. Wall needs to step up. Hey, It's been one game, and I was damn impressed with everybody at the wall in the supporters section. They were an incredible game one Monday night. You guys deserve a tip of the cap, a pat on the back. Well done. Just rallying each other with the chants over and over again. It was loud and clear from the section we were at, I think in 25, up there a little bit, broadcasting row. Shaquem Samuel said, how many wins do you think the team without Kawhi can win? If Kawhi plays 0 games, do you guys want to talk about that? Is that going to induce panic? If Kawhi plays 0 games, how many can they win? I will go with 40. 40 and 42. Maybe 42 and 40. All right, I'll say 42, just because they did do that without Kawhi in the 21-22 season with only 31 games from Paul George. Richard LW said 6 months since the last game he tried to play, and all the club told the fans is managing inflammation, because that's probably all they know. What else? What other information do you think they're holding back? Like, honestly, it's inflammation. Now, the root of that, the source cause of that, is my concern. Triple J said, so is KPJ getting a guaranteed spot? That means Bones' chances are slim to none, huh? Well, guaranteed, what do you mean by that? Weird terminology. He's signed through next season. He has 2 years on his contract. So, yeah, we still don't know if he's going to get suspended. We still don't know his availability, and maybe that's one of the reasons they haven't traded Bones, because I know in the past they have looked for a better situation for Bones to play. You bring in Chris Dunn and KPJ, sure seems like Bones Highland, his plans aren't long for the Clippers or with the Clippers. Sergio Gutierrez says, will Kawhi ever wear the new Clippers jersey in an actual game? I hope so. Richard Heacock says, I'm just jumping on. Not sure what's been said. I'm normally an optimist, but I think we need to be prepared for his career being over. I hate it for him more than anything. It's his career. Sergio Gutierrez says, Kawhi for Levine straight up. I don't know if the Bulls are doing that right now. I mean, Levine's pretty injury prone. I wouldn't do that. The Clippers are not going to do that. Like, Levine healthy, like, it still doesn't make you a contender or something like that. You get an actual healthy Kawhi. I know it seems like a long shot right now, but an actual healthy Kawhi in a playoff series, you feel like you got a shot against anybody. Anthony Armstrong said, is KPJ going to be suspended to start the season? I don't know, sir. Jeremy Mormon, anything is possible. Clippers could be really good without Kawhi and really bad without Kawhi. I don't know about really good without Kawhi. I think treading water without him is best case scenario. That Mexican Nar is in here. One of the usuals. Wait, I'm late. What happened with Kawhi? All right. Little reset. It's much ado about nothing in some ways from anyone in the know or anyone that has listened to this show for weeks here. Jesse Beard tried to come in here and be like, don't you know this is what Law Murray's been saying? Yeah, I've had him on the show. I've been saying all this stuff. Thanks, bro. Shams Charania reported this along with our friend Om Young Masuk of ESPN, who has been on the show, said Clippers star Kawhi Leonard expected to miss indefinite time to start the 2024-2025 NBA season as he and the team rehab his right knee for sustainability on the court. And then they reference stuff that is coming from past press conferences that is all information that's been out there. And I literally just did a deep dive like a week ago, or maybe less than that, here in this channel, a kind of Kawhi investigation based upon all the quotes we have heard. That's way more in depth than actually anything we got in this, I don't know, 700 word maybe article, maybe 500. It's nothing. Anybody who's surprised by this hasn't been paying attention. Triple J says Adam might have to lace him up and carry this team to 40 wins. Gregory says people flipping out already as if why going to be out for the entire season. If he has to miss a third or half the season to play more in the postseason, so be it. I'm confident in the team without him. I'm glad you are, but if he misses half the season, it's going to be really hard to get anything above the 9th or 10th spot. Jordan said, it would be great if Kawhi plays 50 to 55. I think that's the best of both worlds of load management and staying competitive. 50 to 55 to 60 is 5 or 6 seed, around 45. Conjecture. Great estimates. I'm glad you got it all figured out, Jordan, as usual. Sure. Frank J said, Kawhi is a bona fide top player, but at some point we got to cut our losses. We just re-signed him. So isn't he locked in? Yes. We can't move him even if we want to. You could. I don't know what you're getting for him. I don't think the trade offers are coming in right now for Kawhi Leonard based upon his health. I don't think the Clippers necessarily want to trade him because he signified a transformational move by the team being a destination franchise for the first time ever. Kawhi chose them in 2019. Everybody wanted him. First time the Clippers were able to land a guy like that. Soggy Cereal said, we'll have a 2023 Miami run to the finals. I'm optimistically delusional. I agree with the last part. As Morgan Freeman said in 7. Gregory said, we'll be competitive and they'll be better than people expect. We gonna be all right? Just watch. Okay. Well, if Gregory with 2 Y's says so, then why be concerned, guys? Hunter Han says, any update on PJ trade, on a PJ Tucker trade? Nope. Don't have one for you. Probably just going to have to waive him. Richard Heacock says, I like this roster. It's not a championship roster, but they're going to be fun this season. Go Clippers. Agree. I think this is a team that is very similar to the types that Clipper Nation has come to love and adore. JMI 1324 says, y'all talking about trading Kawhi? WTF are you going to get for him? You might not even get a first-round pick. Probably not currently. I don't know. David Stegner said, greetings from Germany, Clipper family. What's up, David Stegner? I think it's nothing that we didn't expect already. I am hyped for an underdog season. Let's make the best out of it. I like this. Oh, no. Sista1 says, hi, Adam A. He was in timeout at one point last night. Did Clippers Talk After Dark late last night. Before that, we had Darian Vazirian from Locked On Clippers, if you want to check that out. Holo Dolo said, also indefinite can mean 1 week or months. Yes, indefinite. Just another way to say nobody knows right now. Is that not what I've been telling you? Nobody can know because they don't know how he is going to respond. Definition of indefinite, if I read it off of Google, lasting for an unknown or unstated length of time. Synonyms, unknown, indeterminate, unspecified, unlimited, unrestricted. Somebody's like, that means 4 to 6 weeks, indefinite. Like, no, that's not what indefinite means. I think they got timeout. Gregory said, last message for everyone, not directed towards you, Adam, by the way. Well, you said it in here. Jordan said, I disagree with your take that without Kawhi, we are cooked. I believe without Kawhi, we will be a 500 team. A 500 team. Did you check the standings last year, Jordan, in the Western Conference? Let me give it to you. NBA standings. Let me tell you what a 500 team gets you in the West. Because you keep talking about, oh, they'll be all right. They'll be fine. They'll be good enough without Kawhi to still be okay, to tread water and all these things. Overly optimistic. And I like the optimism, but I'm bringing realism here. The Houston Rockets were 541-41. They finished 5 games behind the Golden State Warriors, who were the 10th seed. So 5 games away from being in the play-in. The more you know. Maybe do a little bit of research. Double X Sick Angel said, what would it take hypothetically for the Clippers to make the play-in if Kawhi can't play this season? Hypothetically, 45 to 46 wins. Somewhere in that range to make the low end of the play-in probably. Oscar Jimenez said, all you can hope is that the Clippers use this chance to develop younger players. We do not have draft picks, so win with what you have. Yeah. There is no reason to bottom out right now. There's no incentive to do so. It doesn't make any sense. Someone tried to say just lose this season. They were putting time out. Rafa Mentue, a man after my own heart, cut from the same cloth, said keeping the receipts. Me too. Coffee and Balls said, I really wanted the Clippers to trade for Zach LaVine. The second PG left when the Bulls would have loved to get off him. Right now, it'll be harder to get there. I have been telling you, before you try to trade for that replacement for Paul George, maybe, just maybe, see where Kawhi Leonard's health is at. Because if he can't sustain play, it doesn't matter who you trade for. You're still not a contender without Kawhi. Well, this is dumb. Rafa Mentue said addition by subtraction, not having Kawhi? Insane. That might be a timeout. Sergio Gutierrez said, I'm not too impressed with Kobe Brown this preseason. Hopefully he can show something tonight. He's my player to watch. I think he's going to get minutes. Jordan said he wants to walk back something he said earlier that sounded dumb, and now he wants to correct himself maybe. Jordan said, I'm saying without Kawhi, we would be 500. Kawhi will play in some games, so if we stay in 500 without him, we will boost to a higher winning record, adding the games he does play. Well, he's out indefinitely right now, so let's see what happens. Sista A1 said, Adam A, in your opinion, which teams in the West got better? Most of them. I'll run it down for you. I've talked about it plenty. The Clippers are the one team that most people are saying, oh, clearly got worse since last season, losing Paul George. I'll give it to you here. The Oklahoma City Thunder, better, and they won 57 games over the number one seed. You get Isaiah Hartenstein, you get Alex Caruso, you're better. They're going to win 60 games if they stay healthy. The Denver Nuggets, you can say they got slightly worse. They lost KCP. Jamal Murray, I'm a little bit concerned about his health right now. He hasn't looked right. Minnesota Timberwolves, depends on who you ask. I think they may have gotten a little bit better, but I think they are in contention for a top 4 seed once again in the Western Conference at worst. By trading Karl Anthony Towns, they bring in DiVincenzo. It depends on they make Julius Randle fit. The Dallas Mavericks, I don't think they're making the NBA Finals. But they could have a better regular season where they finish better than 5th. I could see that happening just because, think about it this way. They didn't pick up Daniel Gafford and PJ Washington until late in the season when there were 30 games left. Now they have them for an entire year in that defense. Now they lost Derrick Jones Jr. to the Clippers. They brought in Klay Thompson, who is looking a little bit on the wash side. I hope not, because I love Klay Thompson. But what do you go, 0 of 8 or 0 of 9 the other night against the Clippers at Intuit Dome? They're in contention for a top 5 seed, top 4. Maybe top 3. Phoenix, I don't see how they can get much worse than last season. Just won 49 games, stayed out of the play-in. We're the 6th seed. Health permitting, they do have issues there. KD's older. Devin Booker's been a little bit banged up. Bradley Beal has health issues. If they're healthy, they could be higher than the 6th spot. The Lakers, I don't know if they're getting 70 games out of Anthony Davis and LeBron James this season, but I think JJ Redick will be a much better coach than Darvin Ham and actually can optimize lineups and put the best 5 out there, which is kind of critical to coaching. They have a possibility to be better. New Orleans Pelicans, DeJounte Murray's there. They still have Brandon Ingram. What's going to happen with that? But if they get more games out of Zion Williamson, can be better. Sacramento Kings get DeMar DeRozan. They lost 2 less games last season than the year before, and they dropped from the 3 seed to the 9th seed. Brutal. That's the West. They can be better. Golden State, I don't know. They could be right around the same. 46 wins. They need good health too with Steph Curry. But I see the Houston Rockets being better. They won 41 games. And remember, they petered out at the very end. They were in a race with Golden State for that final play-in spot, and they faded it. I like Ime Udoka is a really good coach. And they have a lot of young talent. And they should be better. They should. They could be competing with the Clippers all season long. They play each other 4 times. Utah has less incentive to tank. They could still get the draft pick, but they can't trade Lauri Markkanen. He's there the entire year, so they could be better than 31 wins. The Memphis Grizzlies, the last 2 times they were healthy, they were a top 3 seed in the West. Last year they weren't healthy. They had 27 wins. They should be a lot better. San Antonio, they're better than 22-win team. They're better just by playing Wembanyama more minutes. They babied him last year. They won't be doing that as much. They have CP3. They have some other young guys. If Devin Vassell can get healthy, and I know he's already banged up. Portland, 21 wins last year. I don't know. They could be worse. Who knows? Triple J says, I got about 15 more minutes here. Triple J says, you and other Clippers media defend the front office, but I just don't get why they keep the fans out of the loop. Same with PG injury before the Suns round 1 series. Like, it was a competitive advantage not to say a guy is out for the series to make the other team still have to game plan for them. You're not going to do that. Other teams wouldn't do that necessarily either. If you look at any team's star players and how murky and vague injury reports can be, it's not that unusual. I'm sorry. I think it's a little bit myopic. You're just looking at it through the lens of a Clippers fan. Rafa Mentue said Westbrook. That's it. Yeah, they can be better without Russ, I think. Jordan said, we aren't going the whole season without Kawhi, so bringing up a straight-up 500 season doesn't compute. We don't know anything. He's out indefinitely. Hope not, but when he's back, is he playing at that high of a level? Remember, it took a while. Go look at the numbers when he first came back from the ACL before he was Kawhi again. Evilbot said Kendrick Perkins saying he should retire. He and Stephen A can F off. Mo Haseen said, if the front office waived PJ, could they sign Kai to a regular contract and Williams to the two-way while staying under the cap? I am not sure about that, so I don't want to guess. Rafa Mentue said Minnesota not better. They ain't much worse. More minutes for Naz Reid is a good thing. They are not much worse, if at all. I don't think you understand. Anthony Edwards is like 23. He is going to get better. Dallas isn't better. They can be better seeding-wise. I don't think they're going to make the finals. Regular season, though, they could be. Holo Dolo said the people that keep saying lose this season or trade him right now either aren't Clippers fans or have absolutely zero clue about the state of the franchise with the picks and how trades actually work. Agree. Those people have been put in timeout often. Timothy said, I think it's time for El Frank to go. He can't come out being disappointed at the Team USA decision. Then 3 months later, Kawhi is out indefinite. A lot of politics happening, and we don't need a politician. Yeah, welcome to big business. Like, you think this is unusual for just the Clippers? Like, if he felt good during Team USA, then he should have had an opportunity to play. Period. I get it's weird, and I don't know if anybody's ever asked that question. So you were ready to play 5-on-5 for Team USA, but now the season's starting and you're out indefinitely. That doesn't seem to line up. I understand that disconnect there. I have asked that question. I asked La Murray. He put it as he's trying to play 82 games versus 10 games with Team USA. I don't know. Rafa Mentue said Brian James and Redick are a joke. Oh, God. Triple J said Brian Shaw had the most authentic response I have seen from someone in the Clippers organization since 213 started. Shaking my head. Rafa Mentue, I got to stop going to him. Richard Heacock said, Triple J, what did Shaw say? No, actually, this is good. What did Brian Shaw say? Check out Clippers Talk After Dark from last night in the live section here on YouTube. Richard Heacock said, I understand the strength of the West. I think because of it, there might not be a 60-win team. Everyone rests players, has injuries, and tries hard to beat one another too. Maybe that could help us. Yeah, they can beat each other up, which drives down records. That could happen. I just think if OKC's healthy because of how young they are actually a team that can win 60 games. They have guys who are young and getting better, and typically younger guys stay healthier, and they're loaded with everything you could want. Coffee and Ball said, regarding the Levine comment, I disagree with or without Leonard. Having Levine at the very least doesn't gift wrap picks to the teams we owe them to. Plus, his contract runs concurrent to Kawhi's. That's part of the problem, Coffee and Ball. They want money opened up in 2026. If they have Levine under contract, who has an opt-in for $50 million during that summer, that does not help them get other free agents. So you're missing part of the equation a little bit. I understand your point about staying afloat and above the Houston Rockets. That's not a bad one. Lalo Contreras said, what's up, Adam? What's up? Lalo from Better Call Saul. Oh, I love him. Man, hear me out. What if we trade Kawhi straight up for LeBron? Hear me out. Timeout. Triple J said that the corporate response is basically to be patient with Kawhi, basically saying we have to hold Kawhi's hands, maybe insinuating him and others are over it. You're reading into way too much there. Nicholas I said, quit pairing up Kawhi with another crutch. The dude is done. Lalo, before he was hitting for a timeout, said, I love Kawhi, but man, this game's so old. I can understand the frustration. I try to think of it from his perspective, though. My God, he's one of the greatest players ever. Guys, there is a scenario on Earth 2 where Kawhi has a healthy career and is in the damn GOAT conversation. Legit. That's how good he is when he's healthy. Jackson Snow said Minnesota spacing got much worse, and that's a huge loss for them. You think their spacing got much worse because Julius Randle and Cat? You're forgetting DiVincenzo is there. You're forgetting Naz Reid's going to play more and he can shoot. I don't think you guys, this is wishful thinking. Oh, no, Minnesota got worse. Dallas got so much worse. This is wishful thinking. I'm sorry. They did not get significantly worse. Evilbot said Memphis is better this season. No kidding, man. I brought it up. The last 2 times they were healthy, they were a top 3 seed in the West. Now they've had some health concerns already in the preseason, but Deca Fantastic said, being a good GM isn't managing fans, it's managing players. Soggy Cereal said it's constructing a team, actually, that can compete. And the Clippers, if they were ever healthy, they could have. They can't account the front office for Kawhi doing his ACL in the middle of a run where we all thought they were going to win the championship. That's not their fault. They can't account for them. He misses a year, then he comes back, does his meniscus. Now he has swelling. I'm sorry. Every GM in the history of basketball would have made the trade. So don't tell me this is on Lawrence Frank. Soggy Cereal said, out indefinitely means nothing changed. I like our team now. If Kawhi returns, that's cherry on top. Season hasn't even started, so we can't be doomers yet. Good, I like that. Fahad Sharif said, DeMarcus Cousins and Lou Williams just said and affirmed that L. Frank is the problem. Well, I didn't hear that. I got to hear the context. Timothy said, Adam, are you going live for today's game? Of course. I'll be at Into a Dome. Pre-game at 6:30. We'll be live on here and on the post-game show. Jay says, starting the season 8-2. Can't wait for the Clippers top post-game. Let's go Clippers. Yeah. I'd sign up for 5-5 in the first 10 games. Active Sports TV, LA Clippers News says, so Frank was upset with Team USA for Kawhi being sent home, but the whole time Kawhi was really injured. We don't know exactly what was going on there. C's said, hey, Adam, I could find you on the AM after last preseason game, or I couldn't find you on the AM. You were only online. Last preseason game, we were on AM 570. We were on there, but not for Clippers After Dark. I'm doing a lot of stuff here that's just YouTube exclusive now. If you're just signed up for the podcast side on Spotify or iTunes or iHeart, sorry, but I'm posting a lot of exclusive content on YouTube here. I've got like 6 episodes here that are not there just in the past week. Jordan said, I'm confident on a night-to-night basis. Only teams I can see out matching us straight up is 4 teams. Thunder, T-Wolves, Celtics, and Knicks. I'm sorry, man. You're out to lunch. You're crazy. I don't think you understand how much top-end talent means in the NBA. I don't know if you heard this, but it's a superstar-driven league, and a lot of teams on paper, based upon the Clippers' health, are going to have the talent advantage most nights. C said, couldn't. I don't know what that means. Active Sports TV, LA Clippers News says, Lawrence Frank can't be trusted. I'm done with that stuff. Jordan said, Philly in regular season will also be load managing. Cool story, bro. Active Sports TV, LA Clippers News said, our organization is looking like a joke. Okay, we got another doomer here. Holo Dolo said, yeah, they're looking like such a joke with the best arena in the history of the world. Holo Dolo said, OKC lost iHeart for Isaiah Hartenstein for about 2 months with an injury. They might have a rough time without a center. Wait, what's the Isaiah Hartenstein injury out for 2 months? Am I the casual here? I know he has a hand injury. Oh, that just came out earlier today. Missed 5 to 6 weeks. Yeah, they'll still be fine. Sucks for Hartenstein. OKC, though. I love Isaiah Hartenstein. Get better. Speedy recovery. Coffee and Balls said, good point. 2026 free agent class is loaded. Anyways, doing a great job, Adam. Enjoy the rest of your day. Appreciate you. Coffee and Ball. Rafael Romo said, just join Kawhi Out Indefinitely. Yeah, that's what the header says here, too. Triple J said, never seeing Kawhi past the second round in a Clippers uni is depressing. Deca Fantastic said, Ty Lue said we may have to piss off Kawhi. Yes, I brought up this quote multiple times. If you check out the Kawhi investigation I just did about his right knee swelling in the episode section and the live section just within the last week, you would not have been surprised at all by anything that occurred yet today. He also said, seems like Kawhi voiced he wanted to play opening day, but the Clippers clearly are protecting him. I agree with that. They should be. Triple X Sick Angel said, I got 10 minutes left. Maybe. Need some more Jordan Miller in my life and love the content you've been pushing out. You've been grinding. Thank you. Appreciate you for noticing. MKXLNT said, this is a fantastic opportunity to accomplish the unexpected. Let's see what our guys can do. No woman, no Kawhi. Bob Marley. Nicholas I said, I'm going to the game tonight to see the new stadium and Lob City too. Kai Jones, well, no doubt. I would expect him to be playing. I know there's going to be some starters likely out, but just more room for Kai Jones, KPJ to get some more run, I'm expecting. And then Jordan Miller, Kobe Brown. Need to see them be at their best tonight here in the last preseason game. Jackson Snow said, people don't guard Nas the same way they guard Cat. Bigs are more willing to let the 10 points per game scorers shoot versus the 22 point per. Dude, they guard Nas Reed. You don't know what you're talking about if you think they are significantly worse than Minnesota Timberwolves. You don't. You don't. I'm sorry. You haven't watched how they have played already, as Nas Reed is the Sixth Man of the Year winner, and I thought he should have won it last season. Even though I love Norm, he should have been top 3, but I thought Nas Reed should have won it. He just shot 41% from the outside. They weren't all open shots. If you think Minnesota is significantly worse with one of the best players in the league, Anthony Edwards, who is getting better. He's 23, guys. He's not going to be worse. Jamal Murray posted it. Posted what? I'm going to check it out. La Murray, the NU. Love him. I don't know. What did he post? Something Kawhi related? Not seeing it. Being derailed. Andy81293 said, I just hate how the Clippers go about it. Acting like fans, wanting to know Kawhi's health is none of our business, but then asking us to pay top dollar to watch this team. Can't have it both ways. What would you like to know about his health? What can they tell you other than the inflammation? And they have to see how his knee responds. Who can know more than that? Sergio Gutierrez said, Adam, I've been waiting for the Clippers content like yours for years. I just hope you don't get burnt out. Not going to happen. Keep up the fantastic work. Also, Fred Rogan is a boob. I love Fred. It's a love-hate relationship sometimes, but mostly love. Red and blue. Mostly blue. Old Dirty Dasher said, stick a fork in us, we're cooked. Old Dirty Dasher's an old doomer on here. Jackson Snow said, never said they were much worse. Then stop. They're still a top 4 team in the West. So what is your point? Nas had the benefit of Cat being with him on the floor to help space. He played a lot without Cat. You're nuts, man. You didn't watch Minnesota. I don't think you guys understand. Minnesota's defense being the number 1 defense by a wide margin, that's not going to fall off because they lost Karl Anthony Towns. They're not going to be outside of a top 5 defense. Evil Bot said, Giannis Antetokounmpo will be a Clipper. Thanks for nothing. Ezio said, what does this Kawhi injury mean for this season? Less competitive, trade for someone. Rewind. All right, I'm out. Maybe I'll have something even before the game, even before 6:30, even before pregame, depending on how early I get to Intuit Dome. I might do a live stream from the parking lot before the doors open for media. I love you all. Try to stay as positive as possible. Again, this is a lot of a non-story with Kawhi Leonard today. I appreciate you guys being in here. This is the norm for me. There's breaking news. I'll do my best to go live for you. Until next time, at worst, you'll see me at 6:30. Pre-game show, Clippers Countdown. Clippers taking on the Sacramento Kings in preseason game number 5. I'm Adam.